Welcome to the third in our series of looking at your grab and go kit and getting ready for emergency preparedness. We've talked about what would go in a basic kit in the first of our three of the series, and then we talked about the extra things that personalize the kit for you and your family. And the third thing we wanted to talk about today was your 10 in 10 list and your opportunity to get the things that you need that are not in your grab and go list. If the police knocked on your door and said you have 10 minutes to get out, what would you do and what would you grab? That's what's important, is to have that written down and to have thought about it ahead of time, because at that moment you're not going to be able to think very straight about that. So I have the list that Jack and I have prepared of our 10 in 10, and this will be at the end of the there'll be a link to this so you can see it, but each of you will have your own. And so I want to just briefly talk about what's on mine as an example and to get you thinking, because I found this one of the harder things to do. The first thing that's on my grab and go 10 in 10 list is my grab and go kit, and where it's stored behind the door, so that calms me down and helps me get organized. The next thing that's on my list is my cell phone, my laptop, my cord, which is different and heavy for my laptop, and my phone and my iPad, and then their chargers, which I already have in my personalized kit. But it's important to remember and add those things to your bag. Those things will just go in my bag. Also, I have a statement that says my private papers. We have a folder in our file cabinet that are important papers, and we've put that information on a thumb drive, and it says to grab it and where this is placed. And this I would place in another fire-resistant case along with those papers, in case I have to walk out and it's very hot and I'm very close to the fire. Also, the things that it makes sense to tell myself to remember my purse. People walk out without their purse. They walk out without their keys. So having them on the list will help you remember. And when I say keys, you probably want to write down all the keys that are important. The keys to your mailbox, the keys to your house, the keys to your storage, your safety deposit box, so you know to go and get and grab those things and put them in your bag. Then, if I have time, I have suggested and written out some things that we would take as some extra clothing and change of clothing, beyond the one change of clothing I have for each of us that I talked about before. I'm a CERT, so I also have on my list my emergency backpack for CERT, which means that I'd have 2 backpacks in the car, or I'd have my roller bag with my backpack in it and my CERT bag. Another important thing is to just grab your water bottle and fill it up, because it's particularly important, as you've heard me say before, to stay hydrated. And PG&E talks about having a food bin. So what I've done with my emergency list is, on the back, I've written down things that I would grab out of my pantry and put in this box that I could carry out to the car. This again will help me remember to get things that would make sense. Those are the kind of practical things that you want to have on your list. Then there are going to be those things as you look around your home that you would be very sad to lose, if it were particularly in a fire situation, or if you didn't know whether you were going to be able to come back or not. And those are going to be very different to different people. So the more generic list will say family photos or heirlooms, but it's picking out the ones that you have that may not be digital, and if you have things digitally, know where that thumb drive is. But having those things, there may be jewelry that's important to you, like this piece of jewelry was precious to my father, and an heirloom ring that's important to me, and some jewelry that I'd made that I would not want to lose. So those are some of the kinds of personal things you want to think about, and that I found be one of the harder things to do. I also want to think about the things that I wear hearing aids, so my hearing aids, particularly if it were at night, and batteries, my night guard, and any medications that I take every day, like I take something to help me go to sleep, and if it's in an emergency, I'm probably going to need more help going to sleep, and other things that you know and list on your list. Well, a couple of other things that I thought about is I almost always wear a hat, but I can imagine running out of the house and forgetting, and my sunglasses. So making sure those are added, and making sure that I've thought about a book or knitting or something else I can do besides the deck of cards that I talked about in the second video. So that covers a lot of the things that I think about and have in my 10 in 10 list. Beyond that, and we haven't talked about that, I don't own a pet, but many of you do. So you want to, I brought my grandson's one of his toys to help remind me of this, but you want to have a grab and go kit for your pet. You want to have a crate to get or a leash quickly available, and food and medication, and maybe a toy that calms your pet down. But you do want to think about your pet the same way that you thought about yourself and your whole household. My grab and go list, my 10 in 10 list, also has at the bottom of it, stay calm, listen to each other, and it also has a couple of quick things to do if it's in case of fire, things to do to make my house more safe. So, and the very last line is, if I were not able to drive out, what I might do is getting out to the car with my bag, where we would go and where we would meet. All of that's just on the one page with the backside showing what goes in the food bin. So that's this is 3 videos now on how to get your grab and go kit and being prepared with your 10 in 10 list. And we hope that all of this helps you think more about what's important to you and what you want to put in your grab and go kit and in your 10 in 10 list. And we hope you all are more prepared tomorrow than you are right now.